Live from the Silicon Valley, we are the only show in North America to actually wish Millie Bobby Brown congratulations on her wedding. The wedding photos actually came out today, and no, they did not have a Stranger Things theme to them. But speaking of Stranger Things, one of the people that actually, at the very beginning of all of this Caitlin Clark controversy, actually helped, if you will, spark some of the flames that flew throughout this season. We've got a video for you today from one Sue Bird. Now, I've always loved Sue Bird. I think she has been a fantastic player in the WNBA when she was playing, one of the all-time greats. And I also really enjoyed Sue Bird as a commentator during the NCAA Women's Final Four. And I know she had some controversy that popped up around what her and Diana Taurasi actually said about Caitlin Clark pretty early on. That being said, we've got this video that I want to play for you. This is about a minute long. I'm going to play this and then back with some thoughts.
That actually has to go. That has to go. I understand why at times it's been used. It's kind of just when you're in an interview and you get asked a question, it's kind of easy to go, oh, the FIFA fan base.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? That has to go.
Oh, these new fans. It has to go because it's not the Fever fans. It's not Caitlin fans. That is a large group of people. Let's stick with the Fever for a second. That is a large group of people. And what we're talking about as we get into the meat of this, we're talking about the faction of that group that is pushing racist agendas and is pushing hate and creating, divisiveness online, acting as fans. Acting as Fever fans, acting as Caitlin fans. Now, whether or not they like basketball, whether or not, I don't know. But that's the group of people we're talking about. Not all Fever fans, not all new fans, just the ones that are out there pushing this shit. That is what we're talking about.
So that was the great Sue Bird on her very own podcast. If you have a chance, do check out the full podcast. She covers a whole wide range of topics. But in this particular case, I certainly thought that the great Sue Bird did a good job at least explaining to the fans where the real problem actually lies. And in this particular case, it's not like anything else. It's always a fraction of people that ultimately cause the most trouble. I mean, go to a National Football League game and you will see a couple fights break out between the fans of the opposing teams. That doesn't mean that all the fans of those opposing teams are simply going to throw down. I mean, can you imagine a stadium packed with 70,000 fans and they just all start fighting with each other? Look, if you go to any San Francisco 49er road games in Los Angeles against either the Los Angeles Chargers or the Los Angeles Rams, that is essentially a home game. And you'll see more fights actually break out between 49er fans. Look, at the end of the day, Sue Bird is one of the greatest basketball players in the WNBA history. Sue Bird is an excellent spokesperson for the game of basketball, specifically the game of women's basketball. I think Sue Bird has done an excellent job sort of understanding that the statements that her and Diana Taurasi made did indeed actually spark some flames this particular year. And Sue has actually, I think, done a pretty good job of staying even-keeled and actually explaining what her thoughts and opinions are on the particular topic at hand. Now, in terms of racism, look, there is racism in throughout the world, and there's certainly racism in the WNBA, and there has been for a long time before Caitlin Clark even laced up her basketball shoes to play in middle school. At the end of the day, this particular topic is best addressed by actually doing what we're doing here today on this particular podcast, which is actually talking about it. look, the Caitlin Clark fans that were a little over the top certainly did exist this year, and to say they didn't would be doing a disservice to the W. But at the end of the day, we know that Caitlin Clark did indeed drive a whole new slew of fans to the league. And I'm sure a lot of those fans are still actually watching what happened last night in both of the second games of the WNBA semifinals. I thought for sure the Las Vegas Aces were going to find a way to pull that out against the Liberty last night, but that's not what happened. Back to Vegas we go. In Minnesota, the Lynx easily took care of the Sun, but they'll have a harder time in Connecticut for game number 3. The fans that actually watched Caitlin Clark throughout the season, I guarantee, especially the fans that were new to the WNBA, I guarantee a lot of those actually did tune in to watch the semifinals matchups that were on television last night. That's not to say that there hasn't been racism in the WNBA this year. And from a statistical standpoint, probably at a higher level than in years past, simply because there are more fans and more eyeballs on the W this particular year. Now, for those people that think that Angel Reese isn't getting enough credit for the fan growth in the W this year, it is safe to say that while Angel Reese certainly did have a fantastic year and certainly did contribute to the growth of what happened in the W this year, it would be as if you were blind to not actually look at the statistics. And the statistics simply all point to the fact that for whatever reason, a brand new group of people absolutely love to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. Okay, that is it for today's Underrated Pod. This has been our WNBA rundown show. I would love to know what your opinions are, North America. Please go ahead and drop those in. For the Underrated, I am Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day. To the cool new music we go.
This is Phoenix.